Yeah. Well, we're excited to get back here. We started this year practicing on Monday, so guys came in and watched some film this morning, and then we'll practice this evening, have a short one. Excited to get back after it, after a tough loss, but I like the attitudes of our guys, ready to respond and come out here and have a great week of practice. Got to have a great week of practice. We know, who we're playing. Have a ton of respect for Coach Tuke, because a guy that I played for and has always helped me throughout the entire process of being a coach. Turned into a friend of mine. A lot of those guys, Coach Sy, the defensive coordinator as well, was a coach when I played. So a ton of respect for those guys. I know the way that they've built their program. They're going to play hard. They're going to compete. And so we got our work cut out for us. Just looking forward to the process.
Nick, is there any more pressure to win a game like this just because it's a regional rival and your guys' first home game?
Yeah, like I always talk, I mean, the expectation is to win them all, and especially to get that first one. We're at home. We've talked about to be a good program, to have any successful season, you got to protect your home turf. And we expect a big crowd. We got to use our home field advantage to our advantage, and we've got to come out and play well, especially at home. But like I said, it's going to be a tough match. They got us last year, and a lot of our guys are back from that, and we know the feeling that we had. Making that 45-minute trip back here last year wasn't a good feeling. So, like I said, it's the process. It's Monday, but we've got to get to work.
After watching the film, why do you think Josh was so efficient, and how well did he take advantage of what he had?
I think he just, he did what we were asking him to do. He went through his progressions well, took care of the football. I've said this a couple times. I think some of his best plays were the plays that he didn't throw the ball. He pulled it down and learned to fight another day. Threw a couple balls away on some screen plays that they had sniffed out, and just played smart football, and did what we asked him to do. And then, we feel really good about the receivers we have and the weapons we have, and he was able to distribute the ball around, well to all the guys that we got.
You guys were able to limit your turnovers, but how do you go about creating turnovers?
Yeah, it's you got to put emphasis on it. I thought they did a really good job. Same thing. I thought their quarterback Driscoll did a good job of being smart with the ball too. The one at the end of the half was the one that he probably forced, and it was kind of a fluke play, but we weren't able to get the ball. So and then DeAndre in the second half there late, got a strip sack, but we weren't able to get on the ball. So the ball was out, but we've got to do it more, and we just got to be physical when we get to the ball, more hats to the ball, and but yeah, we've got to create some turnovers.
What did you learn about your club after you see them against somebody else for a change?
Yeah, I like the way that we competed. I wasn't nervous about that at all. I knew that the kind of guys that we got in this locker room, veteran players that have been around here a long time, they know how to compete. They played hard. We found some little things that we got to get better at, just like every team in the country did after week one. So we've got to clean those type of things up. I like our guys. I like the guys that we have out there, and just got to see some improvement this week. That's what's exciting. It's you turn around and you get another shot this weekend.
What kind of tailback is William?
Really good. I mean, he he was impressive. Runs the ball really hard. Is a really good back. And, when you put on the film, he sticks out. He runs the ball extremely hard, physical kid. And I know that's, you can tell that they want to run the football and control the ball. And they did a lot of good things against Memphis. And he's a really good back.
Do they usually have him by himself, or they have a blocker behind him, or is it usually a one-back set?
No, they'll do some with some fullback type stuff, 12 personnel. Some with some lead stuff, but so they do a lot of things. They got some playmakers. McCullough's a great player. They do a good job of moving him around. He had 6 games last year where he rushed for 100 yards. He's played tailback. They put him at wide receiver, try to get him the ball. similar to kind of some of the guys that we have that we try to get them the ball. So they've got some weapons, and we've got to be, prepared for all of them.
How similar are the schemes that Coach Took uses with what he had when he was coach here?
Well, that's a it's crazy, but it's a long time ago. A different scheme than what we used on defense back whenever we were here for those days. Now on defense, they're a little bit more of an odd front. Playing a 3-4 defense. So different. Completely different. But his philosophy hasn't changed. He's a intense guy, and you can tell, even the past 2 seasons since, I was an assistant, when you play his teams, they're going to play extremely hard. They're never going to quit. That's just how he coaches, with a lot of passion and a lot of energy.
What's the situation on the cornerbacks now as far as injuries? Will Tatum be out?
Yeah, we're still unsure on Roman. It's crazy. I mean, that happened on the first play of the game. The first play of the game of his, Saluki career, he breaks his hand and was out for the game. Roman's a great kid with the best attitudes I've ever been around. So he's going to get back. I mean, it's just a thing that he sees the doctor tomorrow.
So it's broken?
Yeah, he broke his hand in the game, yeah. So, but it's something that you can play with, So we'll see, what the doctors are going to let us do as far as when exactly we can get him back when they get that thing casted up.
And Craig his was just cramping?
No, Craig James had a shoulder, but he's down. He was down in the training room, saw him, he lifted, and we expect Craig to be out there this week.
Can Roman, how does he tackle with a cast, though? It's not possible, but how does he do that?
Yeah, it's you see it quite a bit, throughout seasons. It just you just got to go out there and play. Obviously, you can't do it as good as if you had your hand going. But a lot of players that are able to play with a club, you'll see defensive players do it a lot.
SEMO's defense, they had a lot of breakdowns early, but then the last 3 quarters, I think they held Memphis to like 13 points. So what impressed you about their unit as the game went on?
Yeah, they've got they're big up front. They're big up front and they fly around. They've got a lot of experience back. Those 2 linebackers have played a lot of football. I thought on film, going into last year, Meredith was one of the best players that we saw on film, and then he was, ejected out of the game on like the second series last year, so he didn't really get to play. But he's back and is a great player, and so they do a really good job of mixing things up. And they've got some good guys up front to stop the run. So just like anything, they're going to be well coached, and we've got to be prepared. And that's what this week of practice. They did a really good job against a really good Memphis team. I mean, they a lot of skill players and a really good Memphis team, and they did a good job against them.
I know it's still early in the week, but have you noticed any extra fuel or anything in your guys for this week, especially considering how last year went?
Not yet. We still haven't got out there on the field. I hope that on Mondays we don't see them any different, as far as the way that they're preparing for any week. Now, it's our first home game, and that they beat us last year, but we got to have a workman's-like attitude, every week. But starting today, this is the next game. It's the most important game. And, the week of preparation just makes you feel so much better on game day when you've went out there and you've worked and you've seen things and you've had a good week. And, for us to play well on Saturday, we've got to, start this afternoon and have a good week of practice.
I know you're loaded as far as wide receivers are concerned. Will any of your transfers like Gaines and Sosa be seeing any action the next couple games?
Yeah, I mean, for all of our guys, they, we're deep at wide receiver, and it's, it's tough to break that lineup, and they'll continue to fight and play, and so right now, all of them, it's a week to week thing too, in practice. You got to practice hard, and you got to go out there and you got to earn it each week. All those guys do. Even Billy and Connor and Darrell and Jimmy, they know each week you got to come out here to practice and play well, and that's a deep room.
They forced 3 turnovers, Nick, on defense. Are they, really aggressive, or did they make a play on the ball, or was it a combination of both of those things?
Combination, yeah, they're aggressive. Do a good job. Their defensive back picked us off twice last year. Got another one. I think he ranked, forward. He was in the top in the country in interceptions last year, and does a really good job. Got another one against Memphis. So, yeah, they mixed things up. Quarterback forced a couple things, but that's because they did a good job on Memphis, and it wasn't, fluke plays. They created turnovers. And they've done a good job of that since, Coach Tuke took over, is, getting the other team to turn the ball over. And as we all know, we did that a lot last year against them.
Their transfer quarterback, Jesse Hoskins, got the majority of the snaps. What in particular were you impressed by? Looks like he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, he did. He's a guy that can throw the football, big, strong kid. And was successful in junior college, and just he's doing what they ask him to do. He's taking care of the football, and he's got an arm to make all the throws, and he moves around a little bit. They'll sprint him out and move the pocket. So yeah, it's a small sample size, one game, but he did a nice job.
How different would you think it'll be for Josh Strawn, Nick, facing the out front and just seeing that look?
We've given our defense will give us looks. That's our job as coaches, to get him prepared throughout practice, give him the looks that we think that he's going to see, get him in the film room, put together a game plan that he feels comfortable with. We're not going to ever put too much on his plate where he doesn't feel comfortable, where he's confused out there at the line. So I feel confident in Josh, feeling good out there on Saturday.
You did a nice job rotating running backs. How do you like the difference in those guys with Mixon and Isom and Stan?
Yeah, same thing like we've talked about. We've got a few different guys. They do some things differently. Mix got the one carry for a touchdown. Probably could have got him a few more touches. But it's just the way the game goes. So we feel good about those guys. They're all healthy and ready to roll again for this week.
How seriously are you thinking of kicker? You still going with Austin, or are you going to give Matt a tryout this week? Or?
Yeah, I mean, same deal with all of our positions. You got to keep earning it. And Austin did a really good job of hitting one early, a long one. The second one was a long field goal, and just hit it low, and that's going to happen sometimes, especially from that distance. Trying to get it there, it just came out low. But missing extra points, we can't do that. And so he's got to come out and be consistent all week. Matt's doing a really good job in practice, and he'll keep pushing him. All right. Thanks a lot.